Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video, on my YouTube channel Tech Desk Vlogs with your host, Param Singh, tech content creator. Before starting this video guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please hit the red subscribe button down below of this video and hit the bell to get notification of my new videos. So, without any further ado, let's get started. In this part, before creating a bootable macOS Catalina USB install drive on Windows 10 laptop, first download and install the softwares one by one. As you can see here, this 4 softwares required to create bootable macOS Catalina USB installer on Windows computer is installed now. Number 5, for .hfs file, this install macOS Catalina.app update is required, which you can download from Apple App Store, in Mac computers. Or you can download it from multiple sources available on internet for building a Hackintosh. Open Boot Disk utility. Once it opens, you will see your USB drive in the destination disk window. Click on Tools tab, and click Extract HFS partition from DMG files option. Now here extract.hfs file from the install macOS Catalina.app contents. Shared support, select base system.dmg file. Click open. Now select path to save image file. Here I am saving it on desktop. As you can see here, Boot Disk utility software is extracting the .hfs file from the install macOS Catalina.app folder on desktop. Here is the .hfs file which is needed. Next click on Options, then Configuration. You will see this. Click on the Check Now button and it will check for the latest version of Clover. As you can see, 5104 is the latest version of Clover bootloader is available now. As you can see here, next, multi-partitioning option is selected by default and the size of this partition is 200 megabytes. Do not change it. Click OK at the bottom. You should now see the version number of Clover in the latest Clover section in the menu bar of Boot Disk utility. Now, select to highlight the USB in destination disk, which you want to format, and click Format Disk. You will be greeted with this warning. Click OK. Boot Disk utility will now start to format and partition your USB drive. You will also see Clover bootloader being downloaded and installed. Once it's done, you will be able to see Clover partition with the other disk. As you can see here, all done. You can see part 1 clover, D, which is 200 megabytes in size, and part 2 local disk, F, with no name, which is 28.45 gigabytes in size, my 2 new partitions on my USB drive. You will see this if you navigate to computer. You can see clover, D, and local disk F, is the name of my 2 new partitions on my USB drive. Now you can see the 2 partitions inside of Boot Disk utility. Next select partition 2, the bigger partition, and click Restore Partition. A new window will open up and you will now need to navigate to the .hfs file that extracted earlier. It should be located on desktop. Once you found it, just highlight it and click Open. Now you will be greeted with this information window that just lets you know which file you have selected. Click Yes. Boot Disk utility will now start restoring the .hfs file to the second partition on the USB drive. This should only take 10 minutes or so. And you can see the size of partition 2 is 28.45 gigabytes, and the size of .hfs file is 1.87 gigabytes. After restoring the .hfs file successfully in partition 2, you will see the partition 2 size get changed from 28.45 gigabytes to 1.87 gigabytes. It's time to use Paragon Partition Manager software. Open it. As you know, the size of partition 2 of my USB is changed to 1.87 gigabytes after restoring the .hfs file. As you can see here, unallocated free space on my SanDisk Ultra USB device. And this is partition 2 with letter F assigned to it. I am increasing the size of this partition 2, and will use all of the unallocated free space here. Click on Resize now. Now Paragon Partition Manager is resizing the partition. Now, what I believe that it might be clear to you that why I used this Partition Manager software here. Click on Close and close this Paragon Partition Manager software. Here you can see the size of partition 2 on my USB is changed to 28.45 gigabytes from 1.87 gigabytes, space which is available on my USB flash drive. Here on this point, I recommend you to use at least 16 gigabytes USB flash drive. Now I can utilize my available space on USB flash drive. Close Boot Disk utility. Open the TransMac program. TransMac program is used to open Mac APFS, HFS format disk drives and DMG files from Windows. TransMac will run for 15 days from installation to allow user evaluation. Wait 15 seconds, and click the Run button. On the left, select the USB flash drive, and click the Yes button, to restart TransMac program. As administrator, to access this disk. Again wait 15 seconds, and click the Run button. On the left, select the SanDisk Ultra USB disk, HFS volume, and navigate to macOS Space System, install macOS Catalina.app, Contents folder. Here I am looking for Shared Support folder. Here as you can see, Shared Support folder is not present. Now select macOS Space System. Then on right hand open the folder Install macOS Catalina.app folder, open the Contents folder. Right-click anywhere in the empty space and select Copy here. Now you have to copy Shared Support folder here from the Install macOS Catalina.app, which was downloaded from Mac App Store and saved on my desktop. Now select the Shared Support folder and click Copy. It will take some time to copy. This time you will see Shared Support folder here. These installer files are required for installing macOS Catalina. I used Transmac software here for drag and drop Mac files and folders to Mac formatted flash drives from our PC, and vice versa. Now close the Transmac software. It's time to add text files to the Clover partition, and Clover setting is required now. Navigate to Computer and then double-click on the Clover partition to open it. Once you are in the Clover partition, you need to navigate to EFI folder, then in Clover folder. Now, you have to download the folder with the name EFI22 for the basic texts to get you able to boot your install USB and install macOS to a hard drive. These are just essential texts to get you to the install screen. Once you have macOS Catalina installed and booted to the desktop, then you can start tackling other issues. By clicking on the link given below of this video in description box, you will be able to download it from there. First, you will need to copy these two folders, drivers 64 and drivers 64 UEFI, and paste it here in the Clover folder of your USB installer. Second, open texts folder, then in Other folder of your USB installer, copy all texts files from the folder of UEFI22 texts folder. And paste it here in the Clover texts, then in Other folder of your USB installer. Click on Replace the files in the destination. It's time to configure Clover setting now. Very important thing for you to understand here is that the default config.plist in the Clover FAT32 partition of the USB may be sufficient to boot your machine if you're lucky. If not, then your machine will not boot and get stuck at Apple logo screen. This problem I also had faced. So, config.plist file should be configured as per your system hardware. But, there is a pre-built config.plist files on the internet already configured as per your system. This is configured as per the laptop iGPU, integrated graphics processing unit, so you should know which graphics card you have on your laptop or desktop before you use. So, now inside the folder, EFI22, you will find there another folder with the name, OSX Clover Laptop Config Master, and open it. Here is the folder, OSX Clover Laptop Config Master, and open it. Here, as you can see, pre-built config.plist files, configured as per your system, integrated graphics card, is available in the folder. You will need to copy any one of the config file according to your system integrated graphics card, and if you don't know which graphics card your system has, please watch this. As you can see here, my system integrated graphics card is Intel HD 4000 with the screen resolution of 1366 by 768. So now copy the config file according to your system graphics. But for my system I am copying this config file inside the Clover folder of my USB Clover partition. Now delete the default config file from the folder and then rename the compatible config file which you had copied here, to config. It's time for part 2 of this video, that is, how to install macOS Catalina on Windows 10 PC, with the bootable, USB installer, just created. Now let's see that, if my bootable macOS, USB installer, will boot or not. So I am restarting my system here, and from here you will going see the rest of the video on recorded screen. I am restarting to boot the system from my bootable, USB macOS installer and then install macOS Catalina in this system. Please note before start booting from USB installer, first thing you will need to configure BIOS or UEFI system by entering into setup. For instance, to disable the secure boot option and more. If you don't know how to disable the secure boot option in Dell systems, then you can watch my another video in which I had shown the same thing there, by clicking on I button link given above on right hand side of this video. This is what I had tried to show you in this tutorial video, that the steps are shown in this video from creating the USB installer to installing the macOS in the Windows system is best and tested in Dell systems. That's it for this video and thanks for watching. And I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for interesting videos. Please hit the bell icon for notification of my new videos. Also hit the like button and share this video with your friends and comment. It would be great to know your opinions about my tutorials. You can also make request for new tutorials. See you soon.